WWE superstars not receiving a big push because of WWE creative. We're going to get into it. We're going to break it down. I seen a TikTok video floating around, and I was saying to myself, you know what? That's a great topic. I want to talk about it. I want to give my 2 cents, and that's what we're going to do today on the Wrestling Takeover podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoy.
Welcome to... You're listening to the Wrestling Takeover. What is your name? With your host, Jordan Turner, who's always going to keep it real.
Come on, King.
Inside and outside the ring.
Let me make myself clear.
He's got the fans behind him, King.
It's time to take over, King.
Are you ready?
He's all fired up now, King. The Takeover.
Let's go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to the Wrestling Takeover podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Turner. This is the most creative and honest podcast in the wrestling space. Listen, we keep it real and we keep it respectful each and every video that I drop. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to go subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to it, youtube.com/JTTakeover. Follow me on social media, on Twitter at JTTakeover, on Instagram at The Wrestling Takeover. I appreciate the support. And listen, let's get down to business. Why are we here? So, outside of the state of the WWE, where I talk about all the happenings in WWE with the news, just central topics that I want to talk about, that I want to get off my chest, including with the news. That's not going nowhere. But what I will be doing more frequently, like I did earlier with the Carmelo Hayes video, where I went on TikTok, going into my feed. I follow a lot of wrestling content creators. Some of them just, be popping up, in my news feed here and there. And there are some great content creators on there that I feel bring up great topical discussions that I personally want to respond to, and I personally want to talk about and rebuttal and give my opinion on whatever, topic they are referring to and what they are talking about. I am going to be doing that more and more often, as I want to give you guys more content on the Wrestling Takeover. I do not want to just specifically stick it to the state of the WWE and you guys get no more content. Now, I want to put out as much wrestling content as I possibly can. And I feel TikTok is a great tool for that, because there's a lot of content creators on there giving their 2 cents, giving their opinion, on, pro wrestling on WWE. This is a WWE based podcast. All I talk about is WWE. They have more fans, and I feel like I could reach a better audience just strictly sticking to the WWE. I do watch AEW. I do watch TNA. I do, I keep up with it. But this is strictly a WWE-based podcast. But there's content creators on TikTok that I want to, respond to and, give my opinion. So that's what we're going to start doing moving forward outside of the state of the WWE. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, Dynamite. Like I said, I just covered WWE, but I'm going to lump AEW Dynamite into that. I used to cover these shows. I just don't do them, frankly, anymore, because just the shows are not interesting, and I don't want to waste my time coming up here and talking about the shows. So I have halted them. They're not done forever. They're not. But for the foreseeable future, until they get better, I'm not going to waste my time. Because I feel like I'm wasting my time and I'm wasting your time as a viewer listening. And I don't want to be overly negative about, a product, about a wrestling show. Because at the end of the day, it's just pro wrestling. It's not that serious. Okay? So that's how it is. Hopefully you guys understand. And let's get it going, man. We're going to talk about, this is interesting, man. My boy Malik, man, on TikTok. Shout out to Malik. He's a great content creator. He brought up a great discussion that I want to react to. And as I'm reacting to him, I want to give my interpretation and my own opinion. He talks about WWE superstars not receiving a big push And this is something that I feel, really, really strongly about. And as I've built my brand off of honesty, creativity, and respect, keeping it real, there are some WWE superstars that I genuinely feel are not going to get the type of push that, wrestling fans, WWE fans are hoping they would. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to react to his video, and we're going to do immediate reactions, and let's see what he comes up with. Let's see what he's talking about.
I'm going to name a few WWE superstars where I'm not really sure if they're going to reach the potential that many people envision due to booking.
All right. So that's what the video is about. WWE superstars that he is not sure will ever be in a big time position or getting a big push because of WWE creative. I got names in mind. I want to see what names he has, and I want to see if we agree or disagree. But I got names of my own, and I'll break that down. But let's get into the rest of the video.
I'm not saying I agree with these. I'm just going strictly off booking. Chad Gable. Many people have wanted him to get a mid-card push for quite some time. They actually had a perfect story lined up for him going into WrestleMania 40, and they gave it to Sami Zayn. I don't really know if he's going to get the opportunity or the push that many people want him to get, despite him being a really good wrestler. Montez Ford.
All right, we're going to stop right now. We're going to go one by one here. Chad Gable. I'm going to be blunt. I'm going to be respectful. I am not a big fan of Chad Gable. And you want to know the fucked up thing about this? And this is no shade, no rubber to anybody who feels they should be in the main event, should get that big push, should get that big breakthrough. I'm just here to be honest. I'm just here to give you guys my point of view, my honesty, while also keep it respectful. Chad Gable is not going to be in the main event picture, being a world champion. I think WWE sees Chad Gable in a certain level, and they're going to keep him there because that's all they see of him. Is that wrong? That is definitely wrong. That's not cool. You don't know what people have unless you give them an opportunity. Yeah, Chad Gable has a fan base, but he's not bringing in the dough. He's not bringing in the money. And I'm curious to know the rest of these people and see if I can, disagree with the names here. But so far, I do agree with, Malik here when it comes to Chad Gable. I think Chad Gable was one of the best, in-ring tacticians in the world today. Bell to bell. He can go with anybody. You feel me? But is he going to be the marquee? And the answer is no. He is not going to be in the marquee. And I'm sorry, but I'm being honest. This is an honest podcast. I'm real with my opinions. I'm being respectful. But the truth is, and the reality of the situation is where we sit now, Chad Gable is not going to be on the posters, on the marquee, right? In high-level storylines. WWE just does not see him like that. That's my piece on Chad Gable. Let's move on.
Very talented. I do feel like Angelo Dawkins is very slept on and very overlooked because Montez Ford is so talented, and that does bother me a bit. But if they ever do split up the Street Profits, I don't know if Montez Ford is going to be like world championship material like many people think. I think he could throw.
You're talking about Montez Ford, and I disagree with him on this, but here is also where I do agree, but I disagree more because I'm a fan of Montez Ford. And He's incredibly gifted. If you guys did not get a chance, go listen to the interview that I believe he had with Chris Van Vliet. Chris Van Vliet is one of the most well-rounded, respected individuals in the wrestling space. He's honest, but he's very respectful, right? And I'm the same way. I move like that too. But my honesty might trigger some people. People might not like my brutal honesty, and that's okay. We're all wrestling fans at the end of the day. Like I said, it's pro wrestling. It's not that serious. But he carries himself in a professional manner. And that is something that I want to do as well. But Montez Ford, this is a guy that is very talented. If you guys missed his interview with Chris Van Vliet, go check it out. It was a great listen into the mind and a perception of a Montez Ford, what he can bring to the table. He's very gifted. He's very talented. Good on the mic. Great look. Good in the ring. I don't understand what WWE doesn't see in Montez Ford, because a matter of fact, Montez Ford was getting that big singles push when he was in the Elimination Chamber. Fans were vibing. They were vibing with Montez Ford. But Angelo Dawkins, you don't want to leave him behind scraps too. You want to give him a push. You want to give him some momentum as well too. You don't want to leave him in the dirt. I think Montez Ford is incredibly talented. But the reality of the situation is, and this is where I feel like people are going to take what I'm about to say in a wrong way and diminish what I'm trying to say. But at the end of the day, this is how I feel. This is my opinion. Respectfully, WWE sees Montez Ford as a tag team wrestler. But then people are going to be like, well, what about Jey Uso? Does WWE say Jey Uso as a tag team wrestler? No, they don't. But the difference between Montez Ford and Jey Uso is the family, the pedigree, the favoritism. Jey Uso has that. He provides that with the family and etc. Montez Ford does not apply to that. Bianca Belair is bigger than Montez Ford in terms of star power, publicity, all of that. And I think it's highly fucked up. I think it's highly disrespectful to Montez Ford because he has the look. He does have it. I don't understand what WWE does not see in Montez Ford. And quite frankly, there are some wrestlers that I don't understand why Triple H and the creative team don't see what we the fans see. They act like we are not intelligent enough to know when we see a breakout superstar. We do know when we see a breakout superstar. And Montez Ford is one of those people. Yeah, I am frustrated because they could have capitalized on it. And like I said, you don't have to leave Angelo Dawkins in the dust. Give him an opportunity. Have them feud. And then after that, they go their separate ways. Montez Ford and Bianca Belair could have been a power couple heel team. Bianca Belair, women's champion. Montez Ford, he might not have to go with the world title right away. He could win the Intercontinental title. He is a workhorse. He could win the United States Championship. Winning the Intercontinental Championship, I personally feel, would benefit him because he is a workhorse. He is one of the best wrestlers that they have. His conditioning is outrageous. Give the man an opportunity. You don't know what he has unless you give them an opportunity. That goes for everybody on this list, Chad Gable. But the reality of the situation is, yeah, you don't know what these people have. But the problem is WWE they don't trust them before they even give them an opportunity. That's the problem. You don't know what these people have unless you give them an opportunity. WWE is not even going to do that. They just, in their mind, they don't trust them. And also, respectfully, they're not their favorites. They did not handpick a Chad Gable. They did not handpick a Montez Ford. That is the truth. That's the truth of the matter. It's incredibly frustrating with Montez Ford because He does have it, but WWE just doesn't see it. Hopefully they change their mind because he's incredibly talented. And Angelo Dawkins can be incredibly talented as well, too. Give both men an opportunity. You're doing it with the Usos. Do it with the Street Profits, too.
In the mid-card scene, but I don't know if WWE is really going to place him in like a World Championship category. Might as well throw LA Knight on here because I talked about how I don't know if they're going to throw Montez Ford in that category. LA Knight could easily be in that category. He's been over for many years now. He's good on the mic, has a good presentation, he can have good matches. I don't know what more this guy has to possibly, do on his end to finally get that opportunity to be submitted as a
LA Knight, man, is somebody that I just am simply going to say it like this. Triple H doesn't see what we see in LA Knight. If you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. He doesn't get it. He doesn't see what we see in LA Knight. It's very demoralizing. It's very, frustrating as a fan because I feel like our voices are not being heard. Specifically with LA Knight, are they going to give him an opportunity? Is he going to win Money in the Bank in 2026? We don't know. Are they waiting? I don't know why they're waiting. They wait too long for things. We don't know. We're going to find out. But so far, right now where we sit, it seems to me as a viewer, WWE and Triple H are not fans of LA Knight. They don't get the hype. They don't get the They don't get it. We do, but they don't get it. I'm hoping the best for LA Knight because LA Knight is incredibly talented. But we got to keep it real on this show. We got to keep it real with our opinion. And that's the truth. They don't see what we see. It is what it is.
Legit main event guy. Trick Williams, when he hits that main roster, there's a ceiling for everybody, and I'm not going to lie to you. I think Carmelo Hayes is a lot better than Trick Williams, and they are struggling to even figure out what to really do with Carmelo Hayes, it seems like.
All right. So, I'm going to go one by one here. With Trick Williams. This is tough, man. This is tough. Because I personally am a fan of Trick Williams, but I can understand why people feel like his character, quote unquote, is fake. But I feel like he's just being himself. They don't get the hype. There are genuine people who do agree with me that want to see Trick Williams succeed, that feel like he can be a big-time player, but if it makes sense. Now, we all know Carmelo Hayes is better than Trick Williams. Let's keep it a stat. Let's not fuck around here. Let's keep it 100. Carmelo Hayes is better than Trick Williams. Yeah, we know that. But I feel like Trick Williams can, add that, other person of like, all right, we can give him an opportunity. Let's see what he does. Do I think that Trick Williams is going to get that opportunity? I really don't. No, I don't. I think he's going to be in a mid-card, and I don't think WWE is going to really significantly push him. And the frustrating part is, this is just me coming from a fan. Like I said, I don't take personal jabs at pro wrestlers. That is not what I do. I'm speaking right now with what I'm about to say from a fan's point of view. I was not a fan of Jack Swagger. I did not get the hype. I did not understand it. But Vince McMahon was a fan. He loved Jack Swagger. He gave him an opportunity. If Jack Swagger can get that opportunity, LA Knight can get that. Carmelo Hayes can get that. Trick Williams can get that. Even Chad Gable can get that. But they can't get that. And Jack Swagger got it. Yeah, Vince was a fan, but that's here nor there. Jack Swagger was plain to me. Now, there are people who are out there who feel like Trick Williams is plain and boring and nothing about him. I want to see more development with Trick Williams. But where we stand, yes, I would choose Carmelo Hayes over Trick Williams. But Trick Williams can be one of the future pieces, just like Carmelo Hayes. If you guys missed my rant on the podcast talking about Carmelo Hayes, check it out on YouTube. Check it out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio content. WWE's fucking up on Carmelo Hayes, and it's incredibly frustrating. So if they're doing that with Carmelo Hayes, nigga, what makes you think they ain't gonna do it with Trick Williams too? And Obafemi. WWE, man, Triple H, you are not going to get rid of those allegations, boy. You need to do better. You know, if you know, you know.
Again, if they struggling to use Melo now, unless they put Melo and Trick back together, we're talking differently. But I don't know what Trick Williams' ceiling really looks like on the main roster. Yes, that whoop that trick thing is very over, but it's really only going to get you so far. LA Knight's had an overcatch phrase for years now, and they ain't really got him nowhere. So I'm going to name a few WWE super.
All right, y'all. That was it. Let me know how y'all feeling about it, man. Let me know how y'all feeling about it in the comments below on YouTube. I'm curious to know how y'all feeling about it. I will be reacting to another video of his. I might put that out tomorrow, so I'll keep y'all updated. But let me know how y'all feeling about it, man. If I had to name a little bit more of people who I feel are not, and I'm talking about strictly for the men, the women, anybody can win a women's world title, let's be real. But for the men specifically, if there's other people that I would probably name, Solo Sikoa is somebody that I just don't see winning a world title, but the one thing that he has that other don't, the family. If I had to name somebody else, Ray Phoenix, I don't see him winning a world title. There's some others, but I can't really think about them off the top of the head. So I would have to kind of jot it down. But yeah, there's definitely people who, let's be real, WWE is not going to give them an opportunity, and it is what it is. But those names that he mentioned, it's tough, man. It really is tough. And Carmelo Hayes definitely right now where we sit, Carmelo Hayes is on that list too, when I just don't understand. When it comes to LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes, they have it. They have it, and WWE just doesn't see it. It is what it is, though. Let me know how y'all feeling about it in the comments below. Appreciate y'all supporting. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio/video content. This is Jordan Turner, host of the Wrestling Takeover Podcast, the most creative and honest podcast in the space. The King is out.